Hello, everybody. So I'm back sooner than usual, but there is just so much I need to go through with you that I don't even know whether I'll get to the end of it at the end of this video, or most likely I'll just go, oh darn, I forgot about this and that. But regardless, let's jump right in and start talking. You should all know by now that Oprah, Meghan and Harry's interview had been nominated for an Emmy Award. Well, how or why this happened, I just don't know. But suffice it to say, someone most likely paid for the nomination. Maybe Sunshine Sachs, maybe Oprah herself. So let's quickly go and have a look at how this all works, how the nomination, blah, 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 actually takes place. All right, and for that, I went to the Emmys website. Now, there are 124 categories, and before anything can or will happen, an entry has to be submitted. In this case, either by Oprah or Meghan's people, or even by themselves. Because as the website clearly states, if you are eligible, you can and should submit yourself for consideration. Don't be shy. Well, neither Oprah nor Meghan are known for their shyness. Anyway, after the submission process, the Academy's 25,000 plus members cast votes in the different categories. There are also peer group votes. And finally, the ballots are tallied by Ernst and Young. After the nominations are announced, the voters then screen the content and again cast their votes. And again, the votes are tallied by Ernst and Young. The winners are then printed and sealed in envelopes, and it is then sealed in briefcases. People from this company actually then handcuff it to their wrists, and then they take it to where the Emmys are being handed out. Now, this year's Emmys will be screened on Sunday, the 20th of September. So, my dears, the fact that the Harkles interview had been nominated means absolutely nothing. It is indeed possible that Meghan, through Sunshine Sachs or any of her useful contacts, could have made the submission. The fact that it was one of the worst interviews that had ever been conducted will hopefully be enough for it not to go through to the next round. Not only did it contain 18 big fat lies, yes, as you will see in a minute, it's now risen to 18 lies and no longer 17. But Oprah never challenged either Harry or Meghan on anything they said, and neither did she go do her homework during the editing process. And folks, despite it having been advertised as a live, bombshell, honest interview, it wasn't. Harry and Meghan were provided with the main questions beforehand, and it was taped over 2 days, so I reckon there were a lot of retakes. And now, everybody said, well, at least the photography was good and the setting was pretty. But I've got news for you. Regardless of the fact that it is said that it was taped at Gail's home, I'm not disputing that fact. It could very well have been. But it was taped in front of a green screen. So there goes your photography as well. Okay. It also took them almost 10 days to edit, with nearly an hour's footage. still floating around in Oprah's archives. Anyway, my dears, this is just all too much, and perhaps I would have been more accepting had the program been nominated for Best Comedy of the Year. But let's talk about something else. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's talk about Megan's announced cartoon or animation series called Pearl. As most of you have seen by now on Yankee Wally on YouTube, and I get a lot of my news from Markle News 1 on Instagram. Once again, there is nothing original about Megan's concept for this series. Of course, we know that the Harkles are under pressure to produce material for Netflix and Spotify in a hurry, as the bosses of these companies are losing patience. And there had been talk of them demanding the advances they gave the Harkles back. So, in true Megan fashion, she scoured the internet for material, and the unfortunate person this time whose work she plagiarized is Chelsea Clinton. Yay for Chelsea! Anyway, Chelsea wrote a book called She Persisted, 13 American Women Who Changed the World. And then she continued to turn it into a series, and the second book is called She Persisted Around the World. And the books are written for 4 to 8-year-olds about women who had spoken out for what is right and worked to bring about change and all those things. All that Megan did, and this is what I found after I perused the books. Obviously, we haven't seen Megan's cartoon series yet, but I'm judging according to the information we do have at the moment. So from what I can see, all that Megan did was to insert herself as a 12-year-old, which is obviously, as we know, her mental age. Anyway, she inserted herself into these stories. Now, if you think that I'm just being nasty here, no. Megan made it known that she used the name Pearl because it is the origin meaning of her own name. Okay, there you have it. Now, as if this isn't enough to make you itch with irritation, that is not where it ends. It has been leaked that despite old Harry claiming in the Oprah interview that these Netflix and Spotify deals were not planned, it is now been proven to be yet another lie to add to the 18 or 17 lies they have already told Oprah. You see, Megan and David Furnish started talking about a Netflix project back in 2018 already, and were in active discussions with Netflix in 2019. And this, my dears, as you know, was when she was still an active working member of the British royal family. Now, if you think I'm just making this up, again, no, no, no. David Furnish himself admitted that he and Meghan worked together on a project for some time. And he actually wrote this on Instagram. And I have it up on the screen for you, but let me just read the first line. I'm delighted that we are finally able to announce this exciting animated series. Blah, blah, blah. So there you have it, my dears. The number 18 lie from the Oprah interview. Right, and moving on again. I'm still trying to get behind the baby Lily scenario, but unfortunately, I have been given two pieces of info which does not match. Yeah, both these two pieces of info were given to me by people who promised me that it was the absolute truth. But as you know, I do what I can to check. And I very quickly found that these two pieces don't match, and now I need to find out which one is either correct or closest to, or perhaps most probable to be the truth. So, as things stand at the moment, I'm waiting for someone I trust to help me out. We have already spoken, and I'm waiting for the right or closest, or, as I said, most probable angle from her. In the meantime, we are being bombarded with puff pieces about Meghan and Harry wanting to christen the child in Britain, in the Church of England, at Windsor, in the company of Her Majesty the Queen in September. Okay, what a mouthful. We all know that the only reason why they want to do this is to get the child in the line of succession and to keep their options open for a title once Charles is king. But seriously, folks, how delusional is this? Firstly, I'm yet to come across a Brit, besides Omid, of course, who want Megxie back in the UK. Secondly, as a citizen of the United States and living in the United States, Lily should never be eligible for a British title. And even if she is ever given one, she won't be able to use it in the United States anyway. So, what's the point? Thirdly, neither one of her parents has attended a Church of England service other than Henry's short visit for his grandfather's funeral for nearly 2 years. Now, I know, I've actually looked it up. The Church of England no longer says that the parents have to be members of the church. As a matter of fact, the parents need not even be christened themselves anymore. But never mind. I mean, they haven't attended the Church of England in more than 2 years, other than the funeral. So why should or would the church allow them to christen the child in the Church of England? I'm just asking. In the old days, we had to be a member of the church, and we also had to do some parenting interviews and go see the minister and go through this whole spiel before we could christen our children. Never mind. Fourthly, Archie's suspect christening and the circumstances around it has not even been explained yet. So, who would fall for a repeat performance? Definitely not me. And now, after all this, I'm going to leave you with a piece of gossip. I think we should now make that mandatory, don't you think? I was told that there was drama in Montecito and that the sparks were flying. Someone, or more than one someone, had asked the police to do a welfare check on the Mountbatten Windsor children. From what I'm told, Megxie Daisy accused Doria and her father for calling the welfare and the police on her, and even made the suggestion that if it was not Doria or Thomas, then it could have been Oprah. Once I calmed down and I stopped laughing, all I can say is, what did she expect? Two children who are not seen or heard of except for some blurry images for promotional purposes. Fake documents are spread via the media, etc., etc. So, in my humble opinion, the welfare and the police should have been called ages ago. And even though they may not have found anything this time around, perhaps they didn't even find the children for all we know. I don't know that for a fact. Anyway, regardless of what they found this time, they should keep investigating until it has been 100% determined that the child or children are safe in Megsy's care. Because as I remember, her brother said that she should not be allowed anywhere near children. That's the one thing. And then we are still stuck on these fake birth certificates. Why do that? Isn't that illegal? For as far as I know, yes it is. I'm also told that Harry had not been seen anywhere since his return from the unveiling. Now I wonder whether he is hiding out somewhere, away from his wife's angry outbursts, or whether he is still in recovery after his trip to Britain. It is rather interesting after all this, and this is just my opinion, that the couple now also seem to be splitting their endeavours. Megsy with her cartoon and Henry with his Invictus program. And I'm just wondering out loud, is this a sign of things to come? Well, I guess we will have to wait and see. Anyway, folks, that's it from me for now. But I'll be back early in the week. I just have some personal things to deal with on Monday. So unless something big or outrageous happens between now and Monday night, I will most likely only be back on Wednesday. So please don't worry about me. I just need to catch up on real life. Okay, folks, you take good care of yourself. Thank you so much once again for all your support. It is truly appreciated. So until I see you on the next video, bye.